Welcome to Baking with Success with me, Chef Gail Sokol. And today I have a treat for you. We're going to be making a creamy vanilla bean ice cream from scratch. And you may be asking yourself, why is this lady who loves to bake, why is she making ice cream? Well, it's a good question, but baked goods go with ice cream, like peanut butter and jelly. So we're going to be making a real vanilla bean ice cream, and it's super easy. So let's get started. In this pot, I have 1 cup of whole milk, and I'm bringing it to a simmer. That's a little bit under a boil. So we're using a real vanilla bean, and this vanilla bean is from Madagascar, and it comes from the orchid plant, so they're pretty expensive. So we're going to cut it in half. You're going to take the whole vanilla bean, you're going to take a small sharp knife, and just go down the length of it. Give yourself some time to do it. Don't rush it. Go all the way down. If it's not perfect, don't worry about it. And you're going to split it open. Mine didn't open up that perfectly, but that's okay. And if you cut open both sides, you can see these beautiful little seeds that are inside this vanilla bean. And that's what I want you to see. That's very important. These little seeds, that's what's going to give that vanilla ice cream incredible flavor. I'm getting all the little seeds out of this vanilla bean. And I'm going to come over and I'm going to dump it right into my milk. You want to get every little bit. And then I'm going to take the vanilla pod and I'm going to dump that in too. Boom. And we're just going to let that infuse for about 15 minutes. And we're going to turn it off the heat for 15 minutes. So it's been 15 minutes, so now I'm going to add 1 cup of heavy cream, and I'm going to turn my heat on and bring this mixture to a simmer. But before I do anything else, I'm going to fish out my bean and get rid of it. In order to start making ice cream, and ice cream is known as a churn frozen dessert. That's because in the ice cream machine, you actually are moving it. It's constantly moving with a paddle, and that actually creates only tiny little ice crystals, which actually melt on the tongue in a beautiful, smooth manner, and combined with the heavy cream and the delicious custard, makes for a very smooth ice cream. So I'm going to give you all my tips to ensure that you get the smoothest ice cream. So we're going to build a cold water bath first. So I have some icy water in a big bowl, and then I'm going to take another smaller bowl and put it in there, and that's going to stop our cooking process once we're ready, but we have to set it up now. And then I'm going to take a sieve and we're going to put it into that bowl and just let it sit and forget about it until we're ready. Now I'm going to take 6 egg yolks because ice cream is a custard. We start with a custard base. So we only have the egg yolks. The more egg yolks you have, the richer your ice cream. So we're going to put 6 egg yolks in here. 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. And you want to keep mixing the granulated sugar in when your egg yolks are in there, because otherwise, I'll tell you why, 2 teaspoons of flour. Otherwise, your sugar will actually draw water out of your egg yolks, and there'll be little yellow lumps, because sugar is known as a hygroscopic ingredient, meaning it actually loves to suck water out of the environment or out of the environment that it's in. And egg yolks might have a little water in them. So we really don't want yellow bumps in there. So we're going to keep mixing this until it gets pale yellow. And again, we've got our milk and cream mixture on simmer. And once we have all this together, we are actually going to temper the eggs. Tempering the eggs means we're going to take this hot mixture in the pot. We're going to slowly pour it into our egg yolk mixture. And we're going to get them used to, the egg yolks that is, get them used to the hot liquid so they don't curdle, because we don't want curdled eggs. All right, so now I'm going to really use some muscle. Now, who said ice cream making and baking is not aerobic? It really is. You're really, I'm breaking a sweat here. So this is good. All right, see how it got sort of pale yellow? Beautiful. So now I'm going to take my milk and cream mixture with my beautiful vanilla bean, and I'm going to slowly, and that means slowly, pour it in, slowly. And you're just going to get the eggs acclimated to your hot milk mixture. Okay, you're just going to pour it in. Once they actually get about halfway in there, you can start pouring a little faster. Keep pouring all of it in. And I made a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. I'm going to take a paper towel and just wipe around this. You're going to put this back on the heat, put your heat back on, and you're going to take this entire uncooked custard mixture and you're going to pour it right back in here. This is the basis for any custard. Okay, so this is going to stay mixing, and you're going to mix constantly until it thickens and coats the back of a wooden spoon, which I have right here. Now, I want to tell you, normally when I make a vanilla custard, I will have a thermometer out and I will stick it in because I want to make sure my eggs are cooked to about 180 degrees. We don't have to worry about thermometers here because I have my secret ingredient. 2 teaspoons of flour. Remember I added 2 teaspoons of flour? Well, flour is a starch. And you know what it does? It's sort of a magical ingredient because it elevates the coagulation temperature of egg yolks. So you can sort of, not quite bring it to a full boil, but you can almost have a little leeway in how hot you get those eggs. So we're not going to bring it to a real boil, but we are just going to bring it until it thickens. And the flour is a thickening agent, but it also will work on those egg yolks because we don't want them to curdle. Now you don't want it to ever come to an actual boil. So you really do want to stir it constantly. Don't answer the phone, don't answer the door. Tell your neighbors you're incommunicado for a few minutes until you get this done. Now, we're just about there. See how long it took? Very little time. So if I take it off the heat, I want to show you how it coats the back of a spoon. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Isn't that gorgeous? It actually coats the back of a spoon. That's how I know my custard is thick enough. And now I'm going to take it and put it into the sieve of that water bath. You see that? And the reason I'm doing that is just in case there's a little bit of coagulated egg, it'll get caught in the sieve and we don't worry about it. But you can see not much got caught in there, so it's actually pretty good. And you're just going to leave that to cool for about 5 or 10 minutes. After it cools for about 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to add the remaining heavy cream. So it's been about 5 minutes. So I'm going to take my custard, my beautiful creamy custard. You can see it's gorgeous. And I'm just going to dry the bottom of it. And I'm going to add the remainder of our heavy cream. Remember we had that extra cup? This is where you want to add it in now. So you're just going to whisk it in. And right now, this is a blank canvas. This is just a vanilla bean. You can see the beautiful vanilla beans. I don't know if you can actually see that, but you can actually see little dots in there all over, these beautiful little tiny vanilla beans throughout. And it's very important at this stage of your ice cream making to taste it, because tastes and flavors when they're ice cold will taste different than when they're hot. So if you don't taste your ice cream now and it's not to your liking, you may want to adjust it a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit. Oh, so good. So creamy, there's not one lump. And the taste of vanilla is unbelievable, okay? Unbelievable. Oh, so good. So what we're going to do now, we cannot process this in the ice cream maker yet. We are going to cover it with plastic wrap. Leave it in this bowl, and you're going to refrigerate it for several hours until it gets ice cold. Don't make the mistake and process it when it's only lukewarm or just tepid. It will not freeze properly. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for about 12 to 24 hours. My ice cream my base has actually been in the refrigerator for 24 hours. It's ice cold. My base of my ice cream maker, because all ice cream makers are different, has been stored in my freezer. That's a very typical thing. And now I'm going to slowly pour it into my machine, which is on. And I put it into a liquid measuring cup, as you can see, so it makes it a little bit easier to get it into the machine itself. And then I have a rubber spatula to get every last beautiful bit of custard in there. And it should take about 30 minutes until we get beautiful, soft serve quality ice cream. And then I like to add some mix-ins, add-ins I call them, like cookies. It could be candy, chopped up anything, fruit, peaches, cherries. And we're gonna add 3 add-ins later on. So you're gonna give this 30 minutes and you're gonna have beautiful ice cream. It's been about 15 minutes and you can see our ice cream is getting almost the consistency of soft serve. And I want to remind you that custards are made of only a few things. Usually some form of egg, usually egg yolk. Sometimes the whole egg is used. The egg yolk itself is the richest because it provides fat. Heavy cream or half and half or milk, sometimes a combination like we use today, sugar and flavorings. And that is all that's in a custard. Look at this. Look at this vanilla ice cream. It's delicious. It's gorgeous. So now we got to take it out. Time is of the essence, and I'm going to put it in a big bowl. We're not ready to go in the freezer yet unless you just want vanilla bean ice cream. But I want to add some accoutrement. I want to add some add-ins, like I like to call them. And I've decided I was going to add some fresh cherries. I'm going to add some almonds and toasted almonds, and I'm going to add some chocolate. So, oh, look at that. So you got to go fast. Don't stare at it because you can actually get mesmerized by this ice cream. And there's nothing like fresh ice cream. Nothing in the whole world. And I don't care what anyone says. I don't care about those fast ways to make ice cream with a food processor in a plastic bag in the freezer. Forget about it. Get yourself a good ice cream maker and just do it. It doesn't take long. This took less than a half hour. All right. So I'm going to add in about 1.5 cups of bittersweet chopped chocolate. You don't like bittersweet chocolate, use milk chocolate, use white chocolate, use any type of chocolate. 1.5 cups of slivered almonds. You don't like almonds, use any nut you want. If you don't like nuts, leave them out. 1.5 cups of fresh cherries, and if you want to use frozen, you can too. We're going to just fold this in quickly. You can see it's a little bit difficult to do because it's the consistency of soft serve. So we're going to go quick. And then we're going to put it into an airtight container. It can be a plastic container, it can be a glass container, and then you're going to want to freeze it for at least a night, like overnight, because that's when all the flavors are going to meld, sort of like a fine wine. All right? So now I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to pour it in here. And if you don't have a container like this, even a plastic, like a deli container would work really well. Spread it out. Cover it, and you've got yourself some delicious ice cream. Mmm, so good. Mmm. Into the freezer. So here we are with my cherry chocolate chunk almond ice cream. And I double scooped it, but that's okay, right? I deserve it, I made it. And I'm gonna try it. Oh, the almonds are creamy, the chocolate, the sweetness from the cherry. It's spectacular. Don't ever buy your ice cream again. Go to my website, Baking with Success, with Chef Gail Sokol. And until next time, I look forward to making many things with you. Bye.